Okay. Okay, we will start. I'll have to just a minute. I'll have to. Yes, we are set. Shuklam Varadaram Vishnum Sashivarnam Chaturbhujam Prasannavadanam Dhyayet Sarvavighnopashantaye Dorbhiryukta Chaturbhir Spatikamanimayi Makshamalam Dadhana Haste Naikena Padmam Sitamapi cha Sukham Pustakam Chaparena Bhasa Kundendu Shankas Patikamanibha Bhasamana Samana Same Vagdevateyam Nivasatu Vadane Sarvada Suprasanna Kujantam Rama Rameti Maduram Maduraksharam Aruhya Kavita Shakam Vande Valmiki Kokilam Valmikeer Munisimhasya Kavita Vanacharinaha Shinvan Rama Katanagam Konayati Param Gatim Pushpati Kritavarashim Mashaki Kritarakshasam Ramayana Mahamala Ratnam Vande Nilatmajam Yatra Yatra Raghunatha Kirtanam Tatra Tatra Kritamastakанjalim Bashpavari Paripurna Lochanam Marutim Namatarakshasantakam Vaidehi Sahitam Suradrumatale Haime Mahamantape Madhye Pushpakamasane Manimaye Virasane Sustitam Agre Vachayati Prabhanjana Sute Tattva Munibhya Param Vyakyantam Bharatati Parivritam Ramam Bhaje Shyamalam Namostu Ramaya Salakshmanaya Devyai Chatasyai Janakatmajayai Namostu Rudredra Yamanilepyo Namostu Chandrarka Marutkanebhyaha Harihi Om. So welcome back after nearly 2 weeks break. Last time when we concluded the Ramayana discussion, it was 21st Sarga in Yuddha Kandam. In fact, in the 19th Sarga is when Vibhishana Sharanagati, Vibhishana comes and after a lot of discussion, Rama finally agrees to take him. He says, even if Ravana had come, I would have given him Abhaya. So that's what he says. Tavasmiti chiyachate Abhayam sarva lokepyo dadami etat vratam mama. There is a nice shloka in which he says that is my culture. Even if Ravana comes, I will give him Abhaya. Then they decide to build the bridge. Vibhishan also says, I think we must put on the bridge and go to the other side. And so Rama was waiting at the sea shore, praying to the Sagara Raja, the Lord of the Oceans. And for 3 nights he waited. The ocean did not give way. So Rama gets a little sort of upset. So he picks up his bow and says, I am now going to, I waited for 3 days. I have been waiting. If you remember, we saw a couple of shlokas. Nice people take very nice people for granted. Like that, there are some couple of shlokas. Rama says, you have to, and people who make a lot of noise and boast themselves, they seem to be, having their this thing. But people who are very nice are not taken any serious. Like that, there are a couple of shlokas which we saw. Lakshmana was abstaining him from, putting on the bow. So that's where we stopped last time. That was, I think, 21st Sarga in which we stopped. So we will continue from there. So in the 22nd Sarga, although Lakshmana stopped, but nothing was happening. So Rama gets really ferocious. There are 89 verses, of course. So, he picks up his, mounts the arrow in his bow and is all set to direct it at the ocean. The first 16 shlokas are related to that. Then the Samudra Raja appears before Rama and agrees to help him cross the ocean. And Samudra Raja also says, now that you have mounted your arrow in the bow, it should not go wasted. He points to a northwesterly direction and he says, you must put that arrow there. So finally, he puts the arrow at a direction pointed by Samudra Raja, which the commentary says it is somewhere in Rajasthan. That's what the commentary says. But anyway, then once the Samudra Raja said, I will help you, then Nala was commanded by Rama. And Nala was the sort of chief architect, so to say. So all the Vanaras, they bring large trees, they uproot and bring huge rocks and they throw it onto the ocean. And Samudra Raja agreed to float it rather than that getting submerged. So that kind of things happen. So in about 5 days' time, they build the bridge. And now that the bridge is built, they cross over and go to the other side. And Devas and Danavas and all those people, they were all astonished to see this whole thing happening. So these are all described in the 22nd Sarga. Now, a very interesting point is why did Samudra Raja Samudra Raja not concede to the demand of Rama? It's like that. So that's one question that we may have. Why was the reason? In fact, the Samudra Raja himself explained as to why I did not come when you were asking me why I did not sort of give way when you wanted me to give way. I did not give way, and why was it? So there are 2-3 shlokas. They are interesting shlokas because there are some deeper tatparya there. So let us see those shlokas. Prithvi Vayurakasham Apo Jyotischa Raghavah Swabhave Saumya Tishtanti Shashvatam Margamashritah. So the Samudra Raja was explaining why he was hesitant and why he took a little time. He did not, as soon as Rama wanted, he did not give way. He says, Prithvi, Vayuhu, Akasham, Apah, Jyotischa. Here Jyoti means Agni, actually. Jyotischa Ragavaha. So the Panchabhutas are here. Prithvi, Vayu, which is there in Akasha space. Apa is water. And Jyoti means light, which is actually Agni. It is talking about the Panchabhutas. Prithvi Vayur Akasham Apo Jyotischa Ragavaha Swabhave Saumya Tishtanti. Everything has its own inherent nature. Shashwatam Margamashitaha, because they confine themselves to their own nature, everything works. The point that he is making is, as a ocean, I have a nature, I cannot violate that nature. Just because a VIP comes, today, in our modern parlance, we have rules. But the moment a VIP comes, all rules are violated. So that is what we are used to. Whereas Samudra Raja says, no, that's not what it is. In fact, every one of them have their nature, and on account of that nature, they all work. This is called rhythm. Satyam cha ritam cha satyam abhavat in Taitropanishad, when so kamayata, when the Brahman created the world, so kamayata bahusyam prajayeti satapo tapyata satapas taptva idagum sarvam asrijata. That entire description goes. Nilayanancha nilayanancha vijnanancha vijnanancha, like that. Satyancha ritancha satyam abhavat. So that eternal order is very, very important. In fact, the same Taitropanishad, in the same Brahmanandavalli, there is another nice mantra, Ananda Mimamsa mantra, in which it says, Bishasma dvatah pavate Bishodeti Suryaha Bishatma Chayagnis Indrascha Mrityurdhavati Panchamayiti. He says all these are afraid. Afraid meaning afraid here means they all fall into a certain rhythmic order. The order should never get disturbed. So Agnischa, Intrascha, Mrityurdhavati Panchamayiti, including the Lord of Death, everybody follows an eternal order, an eternal path. So that is called rhythm. In English also it is called rhythm. That's the English word rhythm. It is a cosmic order. So here he says, Prithvi Vayur Akasham Apo Jyotischa Ragavaha Swabhave Saumya Tishtanti Sashwatam Margamashitaha. They will always follow their order. That is what I was doing. You may find fault with me that I have not responded to your request. Point is, I am following my nature. And what is that nature? The next shloka it says, Tat swabhavo mamapyesha yatagadoha maplavah vikarastu bhavet gada yetatte pravadamyaham. Tat swabhavah mama api yesha. I am doing padacheda of all these. Tat swabhavah mama api yesha yat agadaha aham aplavah vikarastu bhavet gada etatte pravadamyaham. So it says tat swabhavah, that is the nature of a ocean. Mama api, as you see that eternal nature of Prithvi, Vayu, Akasha, Apa and Jyoti, in the same way, tat mama api eshaha swabhavah. What is mama swabhavah? What is the swabhava of ocean? Yat agadah. Agada means shallow. Agada means deep, not shallow. So aham aplavah. I am very deep and I cannot be crossed that easily. That is my inherent nature. Just because you wanted, if I change my nature, vikarastu bhavet gada, if I make myself shallow and may allow you to make a path, just in one place I become shallow. Gada. Vikarastu bhavet etat. That will look very unnatural, and that is not the way. It should not be done like that. The eternal order should not be disturbed. So, but I will tell you how to cross that part. I will tell you. If you expect that I will give way and then make myself shallow so that you can just like that walk across, that is not going to happen, because that is violating the nature. That should not be done. So this is what the Samudra Raja said to Rama. Rama was angry. Na kama na chalo batva na bhayat parthivatmaja grahana kula jalam stambeyam stambayeyam katanjana na kamat na chalo batva na bhayat parthivatmaja grahanakra akula jalam Stambaha ayam. Stambayeyam. No, Stambayeyam. Katanchana. By any means, Katanchana, right? Na kamat, not out of desire. Na lobhat, not out of some, ambition of some, greed or anything. Na bhayat, not out of fear also. E parthivatmaja. See, these are all eternal devas and they are all cosmic entities. Whereas ordinary human beings will do all these. Out of kama and lobha and bhaya, they will cross their order, their dharma and limits. He says, this is my dharma. So it not happen by any of these. Na kamat, na cha lobhat, na bhayat parthivatmaja, grahanakrakula jalam. This water which is all inhibited by grahanakrakula, akula jalam, inhibited by all these crocodiles and all these alligators and so on. Stambeyam, I will not solidify it. I will not make it motionless. Katanchana, by any stretch of imagination, just because you have crossed. But what I will do is, if you throw anything on me, I will make sure it floats rather than it gets submerged into the water. That is what actually Samudra Raja explained his delay and his hesitation to immediately respond to Rama's request. But nevertheless, he said, I will help you in this process. And then they started building the bridge across this ocean. Now, the bridge was built in 5 days. There are hundreds of crores of these monkeys. They have been bringing stones and trees and all that. They were throwing it on the ocean. And Samudra Raja had promised that it will not, all that they throw don't submerge into the ocean bed. They will float. He will provide that kind of pressure to handle it. So therefore, that is what happened. So how did they build and what was the progress in 5 days? There are shlokas. I pulled out only the relevant parts of the shlokas. There are 5-6 shlokas in which it is there. Kritani pratamena ahna yojanani chaturdasha. Pratamena ahna, in the first day, chaturdasha yojanani kritani. They completed 14 yojanas. So on the right, I am calculating the cumulative number. So on day 1, 14, Chaturdasha Yojanani. Dvitiyena Tataivakna Yojanani tu Vimshati. So on the second day, 20 yojanas were built. So 20 plus 14 becomes 34. So that's why I'm putting it on the right. Ahna Tritiyena Tata Yojanani tu Sagare. Twaramaneir mahakayehi ekavimshati devacha. Kayeir ekavimshati. I have done a padacheda there. Twaramaneihi mahakayehi ekavimshatihi evacha. So that is the padacheda. So ekavimshati on third day. So 21. Ekavimshati is 21. So 34 plus 21, 55. So at the end of the third day, 55 yojanas are covered. Chaturtena tata chahna dvavimshatirata dvavimshatihi atapicha. Dvavimshatiratapicha. It is not rata. Dvavimshatihi ata apicha apiva. So thereafter another 22. Dvavimshatihi is 22. So 55 plus 22, 77 yojanas. That is on the fourth day. Panchamena tata chahna plavagai kshiprakaribhihi yojana anitrayo vimshat suvelamati krityavai. So in the last day, Panchamena tata chahna, on the fifth day, trayo vimshat. Trayo vimshat is 23. So 77 plus 23, 100 yojanas. So this is how the progress happened in building the bridge. First day, 14 yojanas. Second day, 20. Third day, 23. Then 22 and again 23. That's how it has actually happened. So that's what it is saying. And what was the final size of the bridge? Dasha yojana vistirnam shata yojanam ayatam dadrushur deva gandharvaha nalasetum sudushkaram. Dasha yojana vistirnam. Vistirna is breadth. Ayatam is length. So Dasha yojana vistirnam, its breadth was Dasha yojanas, and Shata yojanam ayatam, the length was 100 yojanas. Dadrishuhu. Dadrishuhu means they saw. And who saw? Deva Gandharvaha. Devas and Gandharvas actually saw a bridge, Nala Setu, because it was built by Nala. Built by Nala means he is the architect. It was built by so many people, but he is the architect. Nala Setum Sudushkaram, which is very difficult. Because one yojana is about 8 miles. So we are talking about 18 miles wide and 800 miles long. And that is what 5 days they are saying. It's an unimaginable sort of a proportion that is being described here. So that is what has happened. They have built the bridge after Samudra Raja agreed to help them by floating what they throw on the ocean rather than submerging them. So that's how the cosmic order was not disturbed, but the objective of Rama was also met with, and therefore they were able to go ahead. So they all crossed to the other side. 23rd Sarga, Rama speaks of evil portents to Lakshmana. Rama starts seeing several omens. The first 13 shlokas, Rama says, mentions several omens which are all indicative of great imminent destruction. So he says we need to really march towards Lanka without much delay. We have to finish this process because she has given only 1 month. Therefore, we are running out of time. So we should march quickly towards Lanka and then start the war. So that is what is discussed in 23rd Sarga. In the 24th Sarga, the troops are here in Lanka. And actually, if you remember, this Sukha was, I do not know how many of you remember, when they were on the other side, this Sukha came there and he was caught. And Sugriva wanted to kill, and then Rama said, no, Duta should not be killed, and so on. So they brought him along with him and they released him here actually. Until then, they were under captive of Sugriva and the troops. So 44 verses here. First 21 verses, the troops arrive in Lanka. They all, now that they have crossed over and they have come to this side of the ocean, then there are vivid descriptions of positioning of the troops. Who will be on the south gate, who will be on the west gate, who will be on the north side of Lanka. with how many troops, Jambavan on one side, Gandamadana on the other side, like that. So all those descriptions are there. And then upon Rama's instructions, Shuka was released. Rama says, leave him off. Let him go. So Shuka returns and he gives an advice to Ravana. He also says, I think this is a formidable challenge. You must return Sita. I don't know, he's the fifth or sixth, I don't know who in the lineup. It started with Maricha. Then it was, Jatayu, right? Then Bhishna, even Kumbhakarna. Initially, that's what he was feeling. So many people have said that. He was not listening. So Ravana ridicules Rama's misadventure. Instead of taking this advice and thinking about it, he dismisses it at once. He does not even think for a minute. He dismisses this whole thing and instead thinks it is Rama's misadventure. So he says, I want to meet Rama in the war. So that was the reply. So what was Shuka's observations? That's what it is here. Rakshasanam balaugasya vanarendra balasya cha naitayor vidyate sandir devadanavayoriva. Rakshasanam balaugasya vanarendra balasya cha na yetayoho vidyate. It's a sandhi. There are three padas there. Na yetayoho vidyate sandhihi devadanavayoho iva. So that river, after remove the visarga, it becomes iva. Sandhihi devadanavayoho iva. So that is the padacheda. So he says, Rakshasanam balaugasya. The strength of, the entire army and the strength of the Rakshasas, as well as the Voga is the army. So Rakshasanam balaugasya, Vanarendra balasya cha. So, Shuka was sent. If you may recall, Shuka was sent by Ravana to Sugriva to tell him, you keep off. This is between me and Rama. Why are you interfering into this? You keep off. That's why Shuka is saying Vanarendra, not Rama. He says Vanarendra. Sugrivasya. Vanarendrasya balasya cha. So these two alliance are not going. Ravana was looking for an alliance. In the sense, he said, you keep off. It is between me and Rama. Like that, he was saying, Na etayoho vidyate sandhihi. There is no meeting point of these two armies. It's not going to happen in an amicable way. Like Deva and Danavayoho, like the god and the demon. They never get together. They always fight on the opposite camp. So Sukha says that is what is going to happen now. I do not see a possibility of Sugriva keeping off, which is why you sent me. That's not going to happen. Then he says, Pura prakaramayanti kshipramekataram kuru Sitam vasmai prayachashu yuddham vapi pradiyatam. Pura prakaram ayanti kshipram ekataram kuru Sitam va asmai prayacha ashu. Prayachashu becomes prayacha ashu. Yuddham va api pradiyatam. So that is the padacheda. So what he says, Kshipram ekataram kuru. Kshipram means quickly, immediately. Ekataram kuru, you do one of these two. Quickly you do one of these two. Kshipram ekataram kuru. Why? Because Pura Prakaramayanti. Before they come, very soon they will come. Prakaramayanti, into our Prakara, into our rampart, they will come. It looks like that. And Kshipram Ekataram Kuru, do one of these two. And what are these two things he said? He said, Sitam va asmai prayacha. You Yuddham va api pradiyatam. Yuddham va api pradiyatam. Either Ashu means immediately, takshana. In Kannada they say takshana. Ashu. Immediately, Sitam vasmai pradiyatam. That pradiyatam should go to Sitam. Sitam va asmai pradiyatam. You return back Sita. Or Yuddham vapi prayacha. Or, you get into a war with him. You don't have much time. They have come and I think they will anytime penetrate into the city. So you either give back Sita and avoid the war, or immediately you have to be ready for the war. So this is what Shuka told to Ravana after he returned. So Ravana was not happy. Ravana thought this fellow is no good. He just dismissed him. He did not take. This is what happens when again and again people were saying Ravana was just dismissing all of them. He was not taking cognizance of any of those at all. So he dismissed Sukha also. And instead, he was only beating his own chest and said, Rama doesn't know my strength. Let him meet me in the war. So that is what Ravana's reply was. So Ravana, here are a few shlokas, about 4 or 5 shlokas. I just took only 2 of them, where he was boasting of his strengths actually. Instead of getting worried about the situation, he was boasting of his strengths. So he said, Sagarasyeva me vegah, Marutasyeva me balam, Nacha dasharatir veda, Tena mam yoddum ichchati. Mam tena yoddum ichchati. Sagarasyeva me vegah. My power and my swiftness, or rashness, whatever you want to call it. My swiftness is like a ocean. When the wave hits what we see is a minuscule of the ocean. When the wave hits the coast, you should see how it recedes. Recedes so fast. In the process, a lot of sand is also drawn inside. I'm sure you would have, if you put your foot into it, you'll see that the sand beneath your foot is being eroded. That is the vega. So Sagarasya eva me vegaha, Marutasya eva me balam. My strength is like that of wind. So Nacha Dasharatihi Veda. This Dasharathasya putra, this Rama, Dasharati, Nacha Veda. Tena Yuddham Ichchati. So it says he doesn't know this. Without knowing it, he actually is wanting to meet me in a war. He is going to have it. He doesn't know my strength, is what Ravana is saying. Name tuni shayan bhanan sanishani papannagan Rama pashyati sangrame tena mam yoddhmichchati. Me tuni shayan bhanan pannagan sanishaniva. They are all the arrows in my quiver, which are all tuni shayan bhanan. All those arrows which are sitting in my quiver, these are all like venomous. Nishaniva pannagan, sanishaniva pannagan. They are all venomous. They are like venomous serpents. This Rama doesn't know that. Ramaha pashyati sangrame. That he will see when he meets me in the war. Ramaha pashyati sangrame. Tena mam yodumichati. So he doesn't know who I am. He doesn't know the power of my speed and my bala and all that. He doesn't know what uh, dangerous are my arrows. In fact, the fact of the matter is, Ravana doesn't know what a great archer Rama is. That is the fact of the matter. Ramaha Shastrabhutam Varaha is what Krishna says in Vibhuti Yoga in uh, Bhagavad Gita chapter 10, which Ravana doesn't know. He says, I am a great archer. This poor fellow, this Manushya, he doesn't know it. So he will see it in the war. When he is going to come for the war, he will see it for himself. This is what he said. (25th Sarga). Now Ravana was very dismissive of Shuka. He thought, what is this? He was not very satisfied with this report because he sent him to. Anyway, Ravana sent Shuka to somehow persuade Sugriva from not participating in the war. That hasn't happened. Now that they have crossed, they have come to this side of the ocean. So the war is imminent. So he again sends Shuka and Sarana along with him. Now this time the brief is different. The brief is go and see, assess the strength of the army, and then come back and report to me. So 33 verses in this Sarga. The first 14 verses, Ravana sends Shuka and Sarana to assess the strength of Rama's army. So he sends these two people as spies. So they sort of change their form and all that, and they get into the crowd of the Vanaras, pretending like Vanaras. They change themselves and penetrate into the enemy's army, which is Rama's army. But somehow Vibhishana is able to find them because Vibhishana knows all the tricks. Therefore, Vibhishana catches hold of them and tells Ravana who they are. Ravana simply says, release them, leave them, let them go back. Don't create any harm to them. Just see, there lies the strength of the character. He has no fear. It is if he had been fearful, then you would have kept him for enough time, put him in a sort of a concentration camp, sort of a thing. All that he could have done. He simply let him off go. But while he was going, he sent a harsh message saying, "Don't think we'll be lying low or anything like that. We are not going to be afraid of what you have." So he sends some terse, harsh message through Sukha and Sarana. And Sukha and Sarana come back and they also advise Ravana to give up the idea of war and return Sita to Rama. So this is what they were trying to again give that kind of an advice. यदि दृष्टं बलं कृष्णं वयं वा सुसमीक्षिताः यतोक्तं वा कृतं कार्यं छन्दत प्रतिगम्यताम्. These two shlokas are master stroke of Rama. See, these Shuka and Sarana were spies. This time they were not dutas. See, last time Shuka came as a duta. So when he came as a duta, the protocol requires that duta vada is inappropriate, which is what Vibhishana told and saved Hanuman also in the Sundarakanda. But this time, these two people are actually spies. They are not dutas. So technically, they can be killed or they can be, whatever you want to do, you can do with them. But what did Rama do? Rama said, let them go, allow them to go. But before they went, these two shlokas, look at these two shlokas. It says, so Rama was telling to Shuka and Sarana. What is he saying? Yadi Krishnam balam drishtam, vayam Krishnam balam drishtam, va susamikshitaha. So about our bala, Krishnam means sampurnataya, sarvam, tyartaha. So Krishnam balam drishtam, yadi drishtam, susamikshitaha. Have you observed it very? That's what for you have come. Have you observed very clearly what is happening on our side, who are all people and so on? Yatoktam va kritam karyam. You have been asked to do all this by your king. You have done all that, I think. Yatoktam va kritam karyam. Chandatah. Chanda means one meaning is moon, but the other meaning is happiness. In other words, he says you happily go back. Pratigamyatam. Chandatah pratigamyatam. We are not going to kill you, not going to disturb you, keep you under what do you call captivity. None of those. You go back. Have you seen? You have been asked to come and see, no? So yadi susamikshitaha balam krishnam drishtam. You have seen, you have made ascertained our strength and what is all part of it, of our thing, everything. If you have ascertained, please chandataha, happily go back. According to your free will, you can go back. That is the first sloka. But look at the second sloka, which is really good. It says, Ata, by chance, Kinchit adrishtam, Ata kinchit adrishtam va, Bhuyastad-drashtum arhataha, Vibhishano va karsnyena, Punasandarshayishyati. Ata kinchit adrishtam va, Bhuyah tad drashtum arhataha. Drashtum arhataha. Bhuyah tad drashtum arhataha. Suppose, ata, kinchit adrishtam, kinchit dadrishtam, you see there, kinchit adrishtam. That is a sandhi, kinchit dadrishtam. So, if for some reason, if you have not fully examined our strength, there are certain things which you haven't seen. This is what Rama is saying. Puyaha, punadekavaram. Puyaha means again. Punadekavaram. Tat drashtum arhataha. No, if you have missed out something, please go and see. We don't have a problem. You make a thorough understanding of who we are and go. So if you have missed something, you see it again. Vibhishanova, otherwise, Vibhishana, Karsneya. See, it's a it may look like a complex word. I'll explain it. You see what are all there? Ka, Ir, Yit, Yis, In. There are how many? 1, 2, 3, 4 samyukta aksharas are there. Before a yakara is coming. Only in a language like Sanskrit you will find it. See, Kar, Ir is one samyukta akshara. Yit is another. Yis is the third. In is the fourth. Karsnena. So that's what it is. Now, what is this word? This is a very simple word. If you know grammar, you will know what it is. See, in the previous shloka, there is a word called Krishnam. Yadi drishtam balam Krishnam. We saw the word Krishnam. Krishnam means everything in Sanskrit. Krishnam means everything. Now, there are a lot of words in Sanskrit which starts with Adi Vriddhi. The first letter is a Vriddhi Sandhi. Ka. Ka is Vriddhi. Dasharati, Da is Vriddhi. Then Vriddhi Sandhi is A. So, Vriddhi. So, there are a lot of words in Sanskrit with Adi Vriddhi. Here, the Krishnam is there. In the Krishnam, the Kr, take the first letter Kr. And if you have to do a vriddhi of that Kr, it will become Kar. That's why Rishi will become Arsha. Arsha Vidya Kendra, Swami Dayananda Saraswati. R will become R. Kr will become Kar. So in the Kar Siena, you have Kar now. Then you have it is in already there. That's what you have here also. It is in. All of them are already there. Karsnya. Karsnya means Krishna Bhavaha. See, this is called Taddita. It's a very nice structure in Sanskrit. If you have to use a word and talk some property of the word, then you can create what is called Taddita, which means you twist the word a little bit. Dasharatha. See, you have a word Dasharatha. Now you want to talk about something about Dasharatha, which is Rama. So what will you do? You will create Taddita of that. It's called Dasharati. The Da will become Da, Adi Vriddhi. It's called Adi Vriddhi. The first letter becomes Vriddhi. Adi Vriddhi. So here Kr becomes Kar. Karsneya means the property of fullness or the aspect of fullness. So Vibhishanova Karsnena Punaha Sandarsahishyati. Vibhishana will take you along to take you once again if it is required and make sure that you go back with the fullness of the perspective. So full, the Taddita of full is called fullness. Krishnam, Kars. We use a lot of words like that. I do not know whether you are able to see it. Aishwarya, we use the word Aishwarya. Aishwarya is actually, again, I is actually Adi Vriddhi. It's a Vriddhi Sandhi. And Ishwara, Ishwarasya Bhavaha Aishwarya. So if you want to talk anything about Ishwara, you have to create a Taddita, and that is called Aishwarya. The E becomes I, right? And Karuna. Karuna Bhavaha is called Karunya. Again, the Ka becomes Ka. That's called Adi Vriddhi. Karuna Bhavaha Karunya. Okay? Like that, so many we use. These are all called the Taddita Padas. So you have Mardava, Mridu. Mridu means soft. The Mr becomes Mar. Like Kr becomes Kar here. Mr will become Mar. So Mridu will becomes Mardava. Uchita becomes Auchitya. Uchitam will become Auchityam. The property of Uchita is, so Auchityam means appropriateness. Uchitam means appropriate. But if you want to say appropriateness, you have to say Auchityam. And if you want to say inappropriateness, then you can put the Anauchityam. Anauchityam, Anauchityam. So Sanskrit can be built like that. So this is Karsnena, may look like a very complex word. It is nothing but the Taddita of Krishnam. In other words, fullness. Krishnam means full. Karsnyam means fullness. So he says, Rama is now saying, have you seen everything? If you have not seen everything, Vibhishana will show you. Thoroughly see and go and tell your king whatever you have seen. So that is what Rama, that is the stamp of Rama. He did not kill the spies. He did not captivate them and then keep them under duress. Nothing. Whereas very immediately in the next few sargas we are going to see what dirty trick Ravana did, you will see. Rama did not do any of those. He said, look at it more carefully. If you have doubt, do one revision. Once again, go through our army and see who are all there. Go and tell your king. So that's how Rama handled this thing. So Vibhishanova Karsnyena Punasandarshayishyati. He will show you again if you want, so that you get the aspect of fullness. So these fellows are very shy and they felt very great of Rama also. See, greatness of people, you will know only when you deal with them. Without telling, it will happen. So these Shuka and Sharana returned back. Then they gave their impressions to Ravana. That's what happened. So Lokapala samashuraha kritastra drida vikramaha Ramo dasharati shrimal Lakshmanascha vibhishanaha Sugrivascha mahatejah Mahendra samavikramaha Ete shakta purim lankam Saprakaram satoranam Utpatya samkramayitum Sarve tishtantu vanaraha. So what was their impression? Shukas and Saranas, because last time Shuka did not see the entire army. He came only as a Duta. He did not properly see it. This time he was spying, so he would have intimately moved around and found and so on. Anyway, so what did they say? They said, Lokapala Samaha, Shuraha, Krita Astraha. Krita Astraha means one who is capable of handling any, very skilled in handling any kind of a weapon. Drida Vikramaha. They have that steadfastness and prowess, prowess. And Ramaha Dasha, here you see Dasharati. This is the Taddita. Dasharatha Sambandhina Vishaya Dasharati. Right? Panchalasya Apatyam Stri Panchali. Drupatasya Apatyam Stri Draupati. The Dhru will become Drau. That's all called Adivriddhi. So here also Dasharati. So Ramaha Dasharati. And here you have actually the Padacheda here is, you see, you have a very complex word here, Shrimal, that Chandrakale on the top. There is a way to pronounce it. You should say it is nasal. You have to say through your nose. Shrimal Lakshmana. You have to say like that. It's called nasal. It's called Anunasika actually. And the Padacheda is Shriman Lakshmana. In Sandhi, it becomes Shrimal Lakshmana. It's called Anunasika. So, Lokapala Samaha Shuraha, Kritastraha, Dridavikramaha, Ramaha Dasharatihi, Shriman Lakshmanaha, Cha Vibhishanaha. All these people are there. Sugrivascha, Mahatejaha. There are some great people, including Sugriva, Mahendra, Sama Vikramaha. They are all equal to Indra, who is Maha Indra, Mahendra Sama Vikramaha. These people. So the first three lines are talking about who are all there. They are all Lokapala Samaha. They can take care of the whole world. They are very, they can take care of everything. Lokapala Samaha, Shuraha, Kritastraha, Dridavikramaha, Rama, Lakshmana, Vibhishana, Sugriva, so many Mahatejas, Mahendra Samavikramaha. Ete, these people, you know what kind of people? These people are there. Ete, Shaktaha, they are capable. Shaktaha is capable. Ete Shaktaha. Kim Shaktaha? Lankam Purim Saprakaram Satoranam. Utpatya, they will be able to lift and take the entire city of Lanka. They can pluck away the whole city of Lanka and put it somewhere. Sankramayitum. They can take it, everything, including all that. That is the kind of strength that they have. Sarve tishtantu vanara. Let all the monkeys remain. You don't need these crores of monkeys. These people themselves will be able to do it. That is the kind of people that we saw, is what Shuka and Sarana was saying. Prahrishta Yoda Dvajini Mahatmanam Vanaukasam Sampratiyo Dumichatam Alam Virodena Shamo Vidhiyatam Pradiyatam Dasharataya Maitili. Prahrishta Yoda, they are very, Prahrishta is with a lot of energy and cheerfulness. Dvajini is the army. So this army has very cheerful Mahatmana Vanaukasam They are all the monkeys. Mahatmanam Vanokasam. Samprati Yodumichitam. They want to fight at once. They are all ready. They are very inclined to fight right away. Samprati Yodumichitam. People are like that. That's the kind of people there. Alam. Alam means enough. Alam virodena. Shamaha vidiyatam. I think you should have peace with these people. This looks like a very formidable army. Alam virodena. Shamaha vidiyatam. I think buy barter peace, buy peace with them. This is not going to work. Dasharataya maithili pradiyatam. You give return, restore Sita back to Rama. See, even Sharana is saying no. How many people told Ravana? Pradiyatam Dasharataya Maithili. Give Maithili back to Dasharati. It's not going to work. That is what they came and told. They escaped from there. They were actually granted life by Rama. They came back and then said this. Now let us see what Ravana is going to do. Again and again, this is the message coming to Ravana, although he sent people of different kinds to different possibilities. The next three sargas, what happens is Ravana still dismisses their advice. He is not able to believe. There is so much of ahankara he has that he is not able to take this that easily. So what he did was, he could not believe it. He took both of them and he went to the top of his palace. Because at such a height, he could actually see. He maybe had a telescope binocular. So he could see. He took both these Sarana and Shuka to his top portion of his palace, and from there he is able to see. So he asked Sarana, tell me who are all who. Now you show me, they are all here, no? You just show me who are all there and what. That is, it goes for 3 sargas actually. So in this sarga it starts. So Sarana in this sarga, slokas 10 to 20, he describes the great. In fact, there's a lot of description of the greatness of each of these important leaders. For each of them, there are 3-4 slokas. That's why so many slokas are there. So description of Neela and Angada. That is the first 10 slokas are on that. Then shloka 21 to 32, description of Nala, Shweta, Kumuda. No, I want to actually make one observation here. See, I have written Neela. Actually, it is Neela. See, it is the A that is ending in all these words that you see here. For example, it is not Ramba. I have written Ramba in English. It is all masculine. So I should have put a H after all of them. I should have put a H dot actually. Neelaha, Angadaha, Nalaha, Shwetaha, Kumudaha, Chandaha, Rambaha, Sharabaha, Panasaha, Vinataha, Krodanaha, Gavyaha. That's what I should do. Because I have written it in English, I have written like this. So you should say Neela, not Neela. Although I am also using a word like that, it's not long vowel. Because if you put a long vowel, it becomes feminine in Sanskrit. It is Neela, Angada, Nala, Shweta, Kumuda, Chanda, Ramba, Sharaba, Panasa, Vinata, Krodana and Gavya. All these main leaders were described. There are 1 or 2 slokas, 2-3 slokas about each of them. He points to that person you see standing amidst of 1,000 monkeys. He did this, he is capable of doing this, like that. He keeps on describing. That's how all these descriptions are happening in this sarga. 47 verses are there. I am not going to show any, only one description later I will show as a sample. Then 27th sarga, it continues. Some more leaders are being identified by Sarana. So verse 1 to 14, description of Hara, Dhumra, and Jambavan. Then shlokas 15 to 32, Damba, Samradhana, Krathana, and Pramati. These people were described. And in verses 33 to 48, Gavakshakaha, Gavakshaha, Kesari, and Shatabali. So all these are important leaders. So Sarana points to each of them and explains who are they, what kind of people are they, with a few sentences. So that's how the Sarga 26 and 27 are. I will just take only one or two shlokas. Vikranto Balavan Churaha Paurushe Sve Vyavastitaha Rama Priyartam Prananam Dayam Na Kurute Harihi. We do a Padacheda because some letters are misleading for you. Vikrantaha Balavan. It ends with Balavan. That then Churaha becomes Shuraha. The Shuraha in Sandhi will become Chu. Sha will become Cha. Cha will become Cha. There are Panini Sutras for that. And that Balavan, that Na will become the equivalent of the Chakara. The equivalent of the Chakara, Cha, Cha, Ja, Ja, Nya. So it will take Nya. Balavan Churaha. Balavan Churaha. Paurushe Swe Vyavastitaha. Rama Priyartam Prananam Dayam Na Kurute Harihi. So Vikrantaha, they are all very strong, valiant people. Paurushe Swe Vyavastitaha. Balavan, they are also very strong. Shuraha, valiant, very courageous. Vikrantaha, Balavan, Shuraha. Paurushe Swe Paurushe Vyavastitaha. They are established in their own manliness very strongly. They have their own sattva so strongly. Swe Paurushe Vyavastitaha. Rama Priyartam Prananam Dayam Na Kurute Hari. They don't care about their life. Prananam Dayam Na Kurute. They don't bother about their Tyakta Jivitaha. We have to replace all of them with another word, Tyakta Jivitaha. Jivanam Tyaktam Yasmai. For the sake of Rama, they are willing to give up even their life. That kind of people is what you see. This is a description of the Shatabali actually is coming here. Then he says, Gajo Gavaksho Gavayo Nalo Nilascha Vanaraha Ekaikamev Yutanam Kotibir Dashabir Vrtaha Gaja Gavaksha Gavaya, Nala, Nila, all these Vanaras, he is showing all of them, all these Vanaras, Ekaikameva, each of them are surrounded by how many? Kotibihi Dashabihi. Koti is 10 power 7. Dasha is 10. So tens of crores, 10 power 8. Kotibihi Dashabihi Avrita, Dashibir Avritaha Yutana. There are so many warriors around each of these people. Look at here. How many people have assembled? It's a very large contingent of people have come here, is what he is showing. Tatanye vanarasreshtaah Vindhya parvata vasinaha na shakyante bahutvatu samkhyatum lagu vikramaha. Tata, after not only these people, Anye Vanarasreshtaha, Tata Anye Vanarasreshtaha, and how they Vindhya Parvata Vasinaha, they are all the inhabitants of Vindhya Parva. From there only they have all come. Vindhyachala. Vindhya Parvata Vasinaha Na Shakyante. Samkhyatum Na Shakyante. We cannot encounter them that easily. Why? Bahutvat, they are in large number, countless. Bahutvat, Sankhyatam is counting, sorry. Sankhya. To count how many are there is not possible because there are far too many. Bahutvat, Lagu Vikramaha is the adjective for Vanara Sreshtaha. Okay, quick paced. They are very quick movement people. And because they are very large numbers, we cannot even count. We have lost the count. It is simply not possible to count. That's what he says. Sarve Maharaja Mahaprabhavaha, Sarve Mahashaila Nikashakaya, Sarve Samartha Pratibhikshanena, Kartum Pravidvastva Vikirna Shailam. Hey Maharaja, that is a Sambodhana for Ravana. Hey Maharaja, Sarve Mahaprabhavaha. These people are simply very prominent people. Sarve Mahashaila Nikashakaya. They are all, the size and stature is equal to Mahashaila, like a great mountain. They are all like that. Sarve Samarthaha Prithivim Kshanena Pravidvamsa Vikirna Shailam. Dvamsa, they will do Pravidvamsa, Vidvastaha. They can very easily do a Dvamsa of the Prithvi and even Shaila. Even the earth and the mountain, they can easily shake them off. That is the kind of strength these fellows have. Those kinds of people are there, is what Sharana was saying in Sarga 26 and 27. And in Sarga 28, Shuka tries to complete the description. So far, it is only Sarana who was speaking. So Shuka also wanted to complete the description of the prominent leaders. So there are 47 verses here. Verse 1 to 17 is a description of, again, some more prominent leaders, Mainda, Dvivida, and Hanuman. Finally comes, look at here, he is Rama, he is Lakshmana, and he is Sugriva, and here is Vibhishana. So like that, he finally shows all the people from that top of the palace. 18 to 32 is the description of Rama, Lakshmana, Sugriva, and Vibhishana. Now, then there is an approximate count of the troop size. They said we can't count it, it's simply too much. Nevertheless, there is some approximate count of the troop size. Those are all described in this Sarga. And this description of the Sarga troop size is amazing. So many numbers are mentioned here. I have just put, instead of those shlokas, I have culled out only the numbers. First, they mentioned a number called Koti. They said Shata, Sahasra, Shatacha. So it becomes 10 power 7. Because there are 3 plus 2, 5 plus 2, 7 zeros are there. So it is 10 power 7. Koti. That is called Koti. Then it says 100,000 Koti is called a Shanku. 100 into 1000 into Koti, which becomes now 5 more zeros are added. Because 100,000 is 10 power 5. So now it becomes 10 power 12. Shanku. Then it says on the right, you see 100,000 Shankus are called Mahashankus. So you add another 10 power 5. It becomes 10 power 17, Mahashanku. Then 10 power 5 Mahashanku is called 1 Vrindam, which means that 10 power 17, you add another 5 zeros to it, it becomes 10 power 22, it becomes Vrindam. Then 10 power 5 Vrindam is called Mahavrindam, because there are 5 more zeros added after 22. So it becomes 10 power 27, Mahavrindam. Then it says 100,000 Mahavrindam is 1 Padma. So again, you have to add 5 zeros, it becomes 10 power 32. 100,000 Padmam becomes Mahapadmam. So 32, add another 5 zeros, it becomes 37, 10 power 37. 100,000 Mahapadmam is called 1 Karvam. So that is another 5 zeros, 10 power 42. And 100,000 Mahakarvam is, Karvam is called Mahakarvam. So again, add 5 zeros, it becomes 10 power 47. Then 100,000 Mahakarvam is called 1 Samudram. So that's called 10 power 52. There is no Mahasamudram described. Directly it goes to Ogha. 100,000 Samudram is called one Ogha, which is, again, you add 5 zeros, it becomes 10 power 57. And 100,000 Oga is called Mahauga or Mahaoga. Sandhi Mahauga, 10 power 62. So finally they said the troop size is Mahauga. They describe all these numbers and finally come to this number 10 power 62 in this particular chapter. Now, this is a very amazing. I want to take a slight distraction now. As we are discussing Ramayanam, I want to bring a particular thought into you. Because I am currently actually writing a chapter on Indian number system. Actually, I'm writing a textbook in which I'm just completed writing this chapter on Indian number system. So I want to tell you the maturity of ancient Indians. In fact, that's what I finally concluded in that chapter when I wrote that chapter. The maturity of ancient Indians and their mathematical prowess was astonishing, to say the least. Look at here, 10 power 62. Whereas Roman number, biggest number is called M. You know, M means 1000. D means 500 in Roman. C means 100. L means 50. X means 10. You all know it. V means 5. And I means 1. How are you going to write 10 power 62 with Roman letter? You have to write 10 power 59 times M. M you have to write 10 power 1. You need one, 5,000 page notebook to write Mahauga, because they didn't have place value of numbers. If they really wanted to represent a number Mahauga, M has to be written. M is 1000. So you have to write 10 power 59 times M. Only then you'll get 10 power 62. Which shows they never wanted such numbers. They were all thinking small. Romans, Westerners, they had a very simple living, simple stuff. It is Indians who thought far ahead, far wide. It is Indians who developed a decimal system. It is Indians who handled large numbers. And it is Indians who discovered zero. And today, the entire scientific discovery owes it to zero. Because till 14th century, Europeans and the Romans and the Europeans, they did not understand the concept of zero. The nothingness they did not understand. I mean, it was a very alien idea for them. So zero was not there. Negative also they didn't understand. They didn't know why you need a negative number. But they were all barter and all that, so they didn't understand negative. Whereas Panini, 2,700 years back, he said, Adarshanam Lopaha. There is one sutra. Non-existence is called zero. So zero was coined so many years back. So what I am going to do now is I am going to show you some big numbers, because these things are not known to Indians. Our ancestors have thought about numbers very, very, very long time back, because that is the cradle of scientific civilization and discovery. So let me show you some, whatever I gathered in my book writing, I want to share with you. So these are the references for numbers you will find in our various scriptures. I have taken it. For example, there is a Lalita Vistara Sutra. It is Gautama Buddha's Swayamvara actually. And there was a number mentioned there called 10 power 421. There is one Kachayana's Pali grammar, in which there is a number 10 power 140. In Ramayana Yuddha Kanda, just now I showed you 10 power 62, Mahauga. I have written 61 here, it has to be 62. It is not 61. It is actually 60. We have corrected that. Make a mistake, will remain forever. It is 10 power 62, not 61. Just now we saw that. 10 power 62. Then in Anuyoga Dwara Sutra, there is a Jain canonical text. There is a number mentioned 10 power 28. In Taittiriya Upanishad Brahmananda Valli, there is, we have seen it, 10 power 21. You know, Teye Satam Manushyanam Anandah, Teye Sho Deva Gandharvanam Anandah, Shotriyasya Chaka Mahatasya, Teye Shatam Manushya Gandharvanam Anandah. Like that, it will keep on going. You extrapolate all of them up to, you know, Brahmasya Ananda. If you go up there, it will become 10 power 21 actually. In Leelavati of Bhaskara Charya, there is a number of 10 power 17 referred to as Pararda. In some Jain canonical work called Sirsha Prahalika, there is an estimate of time given, which is this large number, 8.4 million to the power 28. You cannot even imagine this number. Taittiriya Samhita in the 7th book, 2nd chapter, there is a number of 10 power 13 where the oblations are given, it is counted. In Ramayana, Kishkinda Kanda, we already saw Gandhamadana's troop size was 10 power 12. And there is another Jain canonical work which estimated the number of human beings in 100 BCE. And that number had turned out to be 2 power 96. So our culture had phenomenal amount of maturity, handling large numbers. These are all part of our legacy actually. So look at all these. If you take ancient measure for length, this is a table which starts with 2.8 into 10 power minus 7 millimeter, which means if you tell it in meter, it will be 10 power minus 10 meter. It's called Paramanu Raja. Then I have put all those calculations, which comes up to Anguli Parva, which is 1 Anguli Parva is 1 inch. Then from Anguli Parva, you get Angula. Okay. And it goes to the other end. So from this end to that end, here it is 14.48 kilometers, which is Yojana. You know, today we talked about Yojana, those numbers are there. So look at here, the thinking big was on both sides, smallest number and biggest number. This is our ancient Indian measure for length. This is the ancient Indian measure for time. It is there in Bhagavata Mahapuranam, Tritiya Kandam, Ekadasha Adhyaya. This number is there. 1.313 into 10 power minus 5 seconds. Arabhya. That is called Paramanu again. It goes on and on and on and on. And at the other end, it goes up to, I mean, it goes even further. I have stopped here. 1 Kalpa is 1000 Mahayugas. Then, you know, you have daytime of Brahman, so many things are there. Just stopped it here. We also have ancient Indian measure for weight also. Again, the weight you see starts from 10 power minus 5 grams, which is 10 power minus 8 kilogram, if you want to say in kilograms, in the modern system. That's called 1 Paramanu. 10 power minus 5 grams. And the measure goes up to 1 Bhara. 1 Bhara is 96 kgs, 96,000 grams. Tula, Pala, Karsha, Mashaka, Ganja, all those are there. So this is all used in Ayurvedic. I actually took it from an Ayurvedic text. So we had a very, very mature thinking. So we had large numbers for length. And mind you, when I say large, it is not only big, it's also small. Large can travel on negative and the positive direction, both ways. Small also, there can be a very large small, there can be a very large large. That's what I mean. So Indians had this culture and tradition. So what you see in Ramayana is just a tip of the iceberg. There are plenty of references like this, which shows that this is a very vibrant culture. I thought I will take a slight distraction and talk about this scientific legacy of our culture, which unfortunately many of us don't know, because none of these are discussed in any of the Indian textbooks. That's why I am writing actually a textbook to bring out some of these issues actually. Anyway, we'll continue with our story. So, after these three sargas, 26, 27, and 28, the first two sargas, Sharana was explaining strength of each of those important leaders. Then the baton passing happened to Shuka again. Shuka also explained, finally, Dvida, Mainda, and Hanuman, Rama, Lakshmana, and all that. Then he concludes like this. Sugrivo Vanarendrastvam Yuddhartam Apivartate Mahabhalavrito Nityam Mahabalaparakramah. Mahabalavritaha Mahabalaparakramah Nityam Mahabalavritaha Nityam Mahabalaparakramah, who is ever having Yuddhartam Abhivartate. Oh, Abhivartate. Mahabala Avritaha Mahabalaparakramah Abhivartate. He is surrounded. He is surrounded by great Parakramis and Mahabalis. Great, strong and very colossal army surrounded by people with great strength and valor and so on. Sugrivaha Vanarendraha Tvam Yuddhartam Abhivartate. So he is ready. He is all set to fight a war. There is no peace, nothing. The army is very huge. Just now I told you 10 power 62 and all that. It's a huge army and they are no mood for anything. They have come here to fight a war. This is the conclusion of these 26, 27, 28, three sargas in which Ravana took Shuka and Sarana to the rooftop and then try to understand. Imam Maharaja Samikshya Vahinim Upastitam Prajwalita Grahopamam Tata Prayatna Paramo Vidiyatam Yata Jaya Syanna Parai Parajaya. Imam Vahinim Upastitam Vahinim Imam. Hey Maharaja, O King, Imam Upastitam Prajwalita Grihopamam. Grahopamam. Just like these shining planets, grahas, like blazing planets. Look at the Vahini. Imam Vahinim Upastitam Samikshya. Look at carefully. Samyak Ikshya. See carefully. It's a huge army here waiting out. Tataha, therefore, Paramaha Prayatnaha Vidiyatam. You have to put enormous effort now. Paramaha Prayatnaha Vidiyatam Yata Jayaha Syat. How much effort? That much effort to win. Because it is a very tough task for you. Yata Jayaha Syat. Na Paraihi Parajayaha. Not to concede defeat to others. You need to win means you have to put enormous effort, because that is the kind of the army that is standing in front of us. So this is how he, Shuka and Sarana finally concluded, saying this is what is the strength of the army. Now, Shuka first came and told, he did not agree. He sent Shuka and Sarana. Both of them have come and said the same thing. Here they are not saying give back Sita, because again and again, if you say, Ravana will get angry. So they are only telling, you need a Herculean effort to win this war. That is what they have said. We'll have to see what Ravana is going to do now. So much of counseling has come. And as we all know the story, Ravana dismissed even this also. Anyway, that part we will see later. I think it is time for us to call it the day. So with the Mangala Shloka, we will close today's session. Swasti prajabhya paripalayantam nyayena margena mahim mahishaha go brahmanebhyo shubhamastu nityam loka samasta sukhino bhavantu kale vashatu parjanyah prithvi sasya shalini deshoyam kshobarahito brahmana santu nirbhayah aputra putrina santu pautrinah adhana sadhana santu jivantu sharadam shatam Shriman Ramayanam Bhaktya yapadam padame bhava sayati brahmanastanam brahmana pujyate sada hari om. This week is a very, very important week for many reasons. This is Shravana Somavara. We have Sanskrit week. We have, our Raksha Bandhan, everything is there. More importantly, this week we have the, Bhumi Puja for the great Ram Mandir also. So, this is a great week. We look forward to all these events happening this week. Shubharatri.